Rahula's Ordination. What is the true inheritance a parent can leave? After the Buddha's awakening, his teaching began to spread through new regions. Then he returned to Kapilavatthu, the place where he had once lived before leaving home. His family was still there. Among them was his son, Rahula. The early Vinaya tells this meeting with restraint and records what happened without describing every emotion. The Buddha was staying among the Sakyans in the Banyan Park. One morning, he took his bowl and robe and went to the residence of Suddhodana. There, Rahula's mother spoke to the boy. The early Pali Vinaya calls her simply Rahula's mother. Later tradition widely identifies her as Yasodhara and says that Rahula was 7 years old, but this early passage gives neither her name nor his exact age. She pointed toward the Buddha and told Rahula that this was his father. Then she told him to ask for his inheritance. Rahula approached the Buddha. He stood before him and said, "Contemplative, your shadow is pleasant." The Buddha rose and left. Rahula followed behind him. As he walked, the boy continued with his request. "Give me my inheritance." The text does not tell us exactly what Rahula expected. It does not say whether he imagined land, gold, status, or some other share of family property. It simply leaves us with the image of a child following his father and asking for what should be passed down to him. Then the story changes direction. The Buddha did not divide property or place royal wealth in Rahula's hands. He called Sariputta and told him to give Prince Rahula the Going-forth. Sariputta asked how Rahula should be admitted as a novice. In response, the Buddha established a procedure through the Three Refuges. Rahula would shave his hair, put on ochre robes, bow to the monks, and take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Sariputta then gave Rahula the Going-forth. Rahula became a novice. Later Buddhist tradition often interprets this as Rahula receiving the inheritance of Dharma instead of worldly wealth. That is a meaningful reflection, but the early record should remain clear. The Vinaya does not preserve a direct statement from the Buddha saying that he would give Rahula the Dharma as his inheritance. It records Rahula's request and then the decision to have him ordained. What Rahula received was not a completed spiritual life. He received a beginning. He received teachers, discipline, community, and a path he would still have to walk for himself. A parent can give a child money, property, education, and opportunity, and these can all be valuable. Rahula's story asks what remains useful when possessions are no longer enough and the parent cannot solve the next problem. Rahula belonged to a royal family. He was also the Buddha's son. But neither fact could practice for him. His father's awakening could not pass into him through blood. His family name could not remove confusion from his mind. His position could not replace training. Once Rahula entered the Sangha, he entered as someone who still had to learn. In this sense, the inheritance was not an answer. It was access to a way of learning. Parents often try to protect children from hardship through savings, education, warnings, and experience. But sooner or later, a child needs abilities that cannot simply be handed over like property. They need to keep learning, ask for help, recognize trustworthy guidance, recover after disappointment, and carry responsibility without depending forever on another person's protection. Rahula was not given a comfortable future. He was placed in a setting where he would have to grow. And Sariputta, a chief disciple, was the one who gave him the Going-forth. That detail matters. The Buddha did not keep his son only under his personal control. Rahula entered a community of training. A good inheritance does not always keep the next generation close. Sometimes it connects them with people and structures that can help them grow beyond the parent. Yet the story does not end with Rahula's ordination. After Rahula was ordained, Suddhodana came to the Buddha. He bowed, sat to one side, and spoke about the pain he had experienced. When the Buddha had gone forth, Suddhodana had suffered. When Nanda went forth, the pain became stronger. With Rahula, the grief became deeper still. Suddhodana described parental affection as pain that passes through skin, flesh, sinew, bone, and reaches the marrow. The point is not that he was weak because he loved his family. The text allows that love and pain to be heard. A spiritually meaningful choice can still wound the people connected to it. Suddhodana then made a practical request. He asked that children not be given the Going-forth without their parents' permission. The Buddha accepted the concern. After speaking with Suddhodana, he established a rule for the monks. A child without parental permission should not be given the going forth. Rahula's ordination therefore changed more than Rahula's life. It became the occasion for a boundary within the Sangha. Family relationships could not simply be treated as meaningless. This gives the story balance. On one side is the possibility of spiritual training. On the other is responsibility within relationships. The story does not say that family love should control a child forever. But it also does not say that a spiritual goal gives someone permission to ignore family responsibility. Love can become mixed with fear, and guidance can slowly become a life designed in advance. The reverse can happen too, when a child forgets that some choices affect people who carry real responsibilities and real love. Rahula's story refuses both extremes. It does not reduce love to possession. And it does not reduce independence to ignoring relationships. Inheritance is often imagined as something transferred at the end of a parent's life, but the most lasting inheritance is usually being passed on much earlier. Children watch how adults respond to difficulty. They learn whether mistakes can be admitted. They notice how promises are kept. They see whether money is handled with fear, pride, responsibility, or generosity. They learn whether questions are welcomed. Long before property is transferred, ways of living are already being inherited. Parents therefore leave more than possessions. They leave patterns, examples, and habits for dealing with uncertainty. A parent may save carefully for a child's future but accidentally teach that failure must be avoided at any cost. A parent may provide excellent education but never allow the child to make a decision. A parent may remove every disappointment and leave the child unprepared for the day disappointment cannot be removed. Good intentions do not automatically create a useful inheritance. A better question is not only, "What am I giving?" It is also, "What will this help the child become able to do?" Rahula was not given independence by being abandoned. He was given a structured path. There were teachers, rules, a community, and practices to learn. Real independence does not mean having no guidance. It often grows because good guidance is present at the right time and gradually becomes something the learner can carry within. At first the learner follows, then understands, and eventually becomes capable of continuing without constant supervision. A good inheritance supports that movement. The image of Rahula walking behind the Buddha is powerful because following his father must eventually become learning in his own practice. The parent can open the door. The teacher can explain the path. The community can support the training. But the student must walk. This also changes the meaning of love. Love may protect, provide, set a boundary, and eventually allow another person to live without constant protection. Suddhodana's grief reminds us that this can hurt. The rule requiring parental permission reminds us that such pain should not simply be dismissed. But growth cannot be replaced by permanent control either. The task is to hold care and freedom together responsibly. For modern families, this story does not mean copying Rahula's ancient life. It does not tell every child to become a renunciant. It does not tell parents to neglect education, money, or practical security. Its question is broader. Are we preparing the next generation only to receive what we built? Or are we helping them develop the ability to build, choose, learn, recover, and continue? A house can be inherited, but the ability to create a stable life must be learned. Money can be inherited, but the ability to use it wisely must be learned. A family name can be inherited, but character cannot be guaranteed by a name. Advice can be given, but judgment still has to mature. A true inheritance can therefore be measured not only by what remains in an account, but by what remains in the person. Can they keep learning when the first plan fails? Can they accept help without giving away responsibility? Can they recognize trustworthy guidance? Can they carry values without merely repeating someone else's opinions? These abilities require time, example, room for mistakes, and the courage to allow another person to become different from us. Rahula asked his father for an inheritance. What followed was not a bag of gold and not a promise of an easy life. It was the opening of a path. That path required teachers, discipline, community, and Rahula's own effort. The family also felt the cost of change, and Suddhodana's pain led the Sangha to recognize the importance of parental permission. So the story is not simply saying that money is bad and Dharma is good. It asks what truly helps another human being continue growing after the giver can no longer carry them. This question belongs to more than parents. Teachers leave habits in students. Older workers leave standards in younger colleagues. Friends leave words that may be remembered for years. We are all passing something forward. The question is whether what we leave creates dependence or capability, whether it creates fear or steadiness, whether it makes another person need our approval forever, or helps them stand when we are absent. Rahula's story begins with a child asking what his father will leave him. Its deeper answer is not a single object. A lasting inheritance is something that continues to work inside a person after the giver steps away. May what you leave to those you love become more than possessions. May your care give them stability without making them helpless. May your guidance help them learn without deciding every step for them. And may the people who come after you inherit not only what you owned, but the strength to keep learning and walking their own path when you are no longer beside them.